Hello there and welcome back. New week, new firmware. Last week was the Oxy 1 and this week is the Elektron machine drum. The new 1.7 firmware came out and I thought I have to talk about that. First, this is a machine that came out originally like 10 years ago or something, and they keep updating it, which means that Elektron is doing a great job because it's not just putting out in the world new stuff that you are forced to buy, but if you own these or also the Mark 1, you have the chance now to update and got a lot of new goodies. So it came out like really unexpected. I was super excited about it. It took a week for me to start digging into the stuff, so I'm a little late to the party, but you know, before talking about stuff, I really want to dig into it and know how I'm gonna use it for my music. By far, I'm not the one that use so much drum in their production. I have few drum machine. I said few times before that the Elektron Rytm Analog Rytm is my favorite. Is the one that if I had to have one only drum machine, I would pick this one. And also by now, if I need to have one instrument to do all the things, I could use the Rytm because not only it does great with all the drum part, but now they implemented the harmonic part of it, the tonal part of it in a better way. So you have scales, it sounds better, there's a new way that all the tonal part works more precisely. Plus it works with samples, so this could be a one man band, can you see that? It could work for you and do anything you want. I guess at this point the only limit, the only real limit that doesn't make this machine a god is the fact that the sample time is limited, that in 30 seconds, and maybe the only things that I wish it had more, 2 LFO per voice instead of 1. That would make this machine, yeah, insanely powerful. And maybe one thing, I'm wondering, I'm curious, like there's still, you cannot input notes, and the notes, if you input by rotating the knob, will not be quantized to the scale you choose. That I still think it's an issue that also the Syntakt has, and I hope Elektron will take care of that because I think it's a simple thing and will make composing with this machine way easier, in an easier way. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what are my favorite features, and then I have also news to tell you. First, let's say how you can do to support my page. As usual, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, super easy and free. Buy from the affiliate link, you'll pay the same exact amount of money. I will get a tiny percentage and will really help. And then become a Patreon. On Patreon, I do exclusive content. We do also one-on-one. I reply to all of your questions, and it's a great community, great growing community. But there's one thing more. In this video, we'll use later on, and I will show you some sound that I made with my new and first sample pack. I took another drum machine that I love, that is the Perkons. Now the Perkons is a great machine for live improvisation, but during the production I prefer to use or the DAW or the Rytm. So what I did, I sample a lot of cool sound. It's a pack made of 74 sound, one shot, using my Zell console, tape, all the effects that I have. And I will use it today to show you a few patches that I did. And I will actually put in a download, you can check down below, there's a link, you can buy it from my Patreon. Now on Patreon you can also just buy the digital product. So click the link, buy it, and as a goodies you will find also a project and few kits that I made on the rhythm, if you have the rhythm. Otherwise, it's just wave, and you can use it however you want. There's some massive kicks down there, and especially if you're in kind of the dark, dubby, deep vibe, it's pretty cool. So check it out. But let's go back to the analog rhythm, and let's talk about there's many features that they had. I will point out the one that I really, really like. So first, the things you were listening, these I made using a few new tools. First, the kick is the new, BD acoustic, bass drum acoustic, which once you start working on it, it sounds pretty cool. Nowadays, there's a lot of stuff going on this patch. So first thing to talk about, they added 5 new machines. The BD acoustic, the snare drum acoustic, then they added a hi-hat lab, which allows you to move 6 different oscillators to create your sound. Then they had the mighty sound from the seed station, which is the first Elektron machine ever come out. I never owned that one. I own everything else except that one. And they had the raw oscillator, which is on their syntax. The raw basically is an oscillator that has a dual oscillator, which you can choose which kind of wave, which sounds pretty amazing. It's an analog one. So it had already a lot of machine. I think now we're 30 something machine. It's crazy. You have a lot of power. And all the other machine has been tweaked, and they sound a little better, or at least that's what the community is saying. Like it seems that the machine sounds better somehow, tighter, deeper. So who knows if what they did, but they calibrated everything, and so I feel it's even better than it was before. So we can listen to that. Let's load an empty patch. So let's listen very quickly to the bass drum acoustic. This was something based on the PCM, and it was in the machine drum, so it's a very welcome addition because it has this sound that of course reminds of an acoustic drum, which so far the Elektron Rytm Analog didn't have. So it's good to have something you can work on like that. And you can get pretty interesting tone out of that. Massive. I have also some compression going on. Move it. It's pretty nice. Next to it, there's the snare. So let's pick the snare. Let's put it here. Snare drum acoustic. Same concept. It has this very nice acoustic woody sound. But of course you can very easily get into fun. Let's check here and then we create something, okay? Let's check here the HH lab. So you have 6 oscillators that you can move freely, as you can see. This is very nice to create my glitchy, what I like to do, so some sort of glitchy tune. So very cool, simple to use. Then let's, this is actually the raw. Let's actually clear track sound, yes. So now you have this raw, the raw simply, when you load it, it has a infinite sustain, so you have to, it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So you have two waves, the detune between two, you can balance between one or the other, and set the decay, and add noise. It's a pretty cool sounding oscillator, dual oscillator. I use it a lot in the syntax. So it seems that syntax still stole some sound from the rhythm, and now it's happening the opposite. The rhythm stole one sound from that. And then we cover all the sound. Ah, no, there's the last one. Let's load the seed machine. Let's load it here. And then we do something with that. So this is, if you are familiar with the Commodore 64 sound, this is how back in the day they will give you the idea of polyphony and chord, like having one sound that repeats a lot. And yeah, if you ever been to an arcade game or play arcade game back in the days when I was a kid, this is how they sounded. And you can do pretty interesting sound with that. Okay, these are the 5 new machines. What else we have? So let's go to the one thing that it's minimal, but it's pretty cool. They added the Slew on the LFO. I'm keeping my favorite new addition for last, so stay tuned. So let's say back in the day, I mean before this thing, if you have a random LFO, let's say I wanna change the tune of this one. See how now it's stepped? Now they had the Slew, means that instead of having this steppy behavior, it's smooth. So it can be useful if you are using for an effect, for a send, or for an EQ on your track. So it's a very, very welcome addition. Now we don't need on this. Then there's another cool function that actually will allow me finally to work on different pages. For the way I like to work with this machine, I want to have, when I edit, one page always in front of me. Now, say you want to start editing and use the different page. Back in the day, you have to wait until, say, let's do 32 step, all right? Now you are in the first 16, and now you are in the second 16. How do you have to do to see? If you put down trigs, maybe let's put some sound like this. And let's put 32 too. So, first one. And now you have to press page. Actually, when you double it, it automatically copies the paste. But you always have to double between the different pages. Now there's this function that I think it's great. It's such a simple idea, but it's so good. So say you want to just work and keep looping the cursor on page 2. So you press page, you select which page you want to work, so 2, and you can also decide which instrument to listen to. So you can deactivate the one you don't want. Now there's nothing else, but whatever. And now we will keep listening only to that. This is great for editing, but also it's great for live performance, because now I'm thinking I can do a pattern, duplicate it automatically when I set more step, and make variation. And then with this simple way, I can change between pages, loop them, and then mute things very easily. It's something that I think I'm gonna use it a lot in that way. But let's come to the cool part of it. The amazing Euclidean sequencer. I love Euclidean sequencers. Torso, for example, is my favorite one. That one is way more complex, way more dedicated to that, so you can beat that one. But now you have the Euclidean sequencer in the Rytm, two of them actually. How you enter that? So double press trig, and now you're in the Euclidean page. You turn on Euclidean like this, and now this become purple, and now you have the pattern 1 and pattern 2. So as soon as we start putting trigger, for example, now I put 3, and they're placed here. So how Euclidean works, basically it distributes your triggers, your step, in your decided length. So you have 16 steps and you put 4 triggers, it's going to be equally divided every 4. But if it's 3, it will try to figure what is the best way to distribute that evenly. So the fun part here is just, and this is the first time I see something like that, in the same page you have 2 Euclidean sequencers. And here is a thing that Elektron can do to make it even amazing, but let me first play with it. So I place 3 steps, and now I will add them in the line 2. And now I am able to rotate this step separately. So now I move pattern 1, and now I can move pattern 2, and now I can move both together. Then there's this Boolean function. These are different functions that means when the 2 steps coincide, there's different things to do. So someone says if they are together, they cancel each other, or only track 1 works and track 2 don't. So I didn't go too deep on that, so whatever. Check that out. This is very cool because you can start making pattern really fast. So for example, now I am the kick, and let's turn Euclidean on. Of course, each trigger is, you can p-lock it as usual, and then you can move it and it will stay though. It will keep what you modify. Now, one cool thing that would be amazing if Elektron managed to select an entire track and just work globally on the track. Figure if you can pick track 1, the Euclidean track 1, and do some setting to that, so filtering, and then track 2, I will do something else. All the steps. It could be a very cool way to create interesting stuff. So like that, you can create very fast stuff. And so on and on and on. This more or less cover what really was amazing about the machine. I feel this is already incredible to have all of this stuff and the Euclidean sequencer. First time that an Euclidean sequencer is on an Elektron machine. It's very exciting. It's very new. So let's listen to some pattern that I did already using all of these new features. This one I used, let me check them. not distorting. This one I am using the scale. That's another feature. How you do function chromatic, pad scale, and you can now put any scale you want. And then when you play, you have it. And here I'm also using the seeds to create this fun part. Then I went, this is the one we were listening before. I'm also sending to the Model 1, to the Mercury X and Lux and LVX. I love this pattern. This is how I made it. First, there's some distortion from the modular channel that make it more intense. And I love lately to use the rhythm for creating this kind of soundscape-ish drum. I'm not great with just 4 on the floor and stuff, but this is the direction I'm going right now. This is made using the new machines, but also I found out that a key to obtain a great sound is using compressor a lot, the distortion, all the filtering, and really going deep into the sound design. I also noticed that it's easy to record everything separately through the overbridge, but somehow the sound that come out when everything is put together and mixed together, it's so much better. So lately I embrace that fact and I record, as I used to be, stereo tracks and just getting happy with that. So let's listen to something else. This I was listening to Portishead that day, and so I wanted to redo something like that. As you can hear, there's a lot of sounds coming and going, and this is thanks to the compressor. A lot of compression, as you can see. Also, I had compression with the modular channel, and these two together, modular channel and that, amazing. Also, I like to use a lot LFO lately, and that's why the only things I wish they had two LFO, like the Analog 4. Let's listen to something else. Okay, let's go now to the things that I was saying before. I am not a big user of sample, but then I start importing sample. So I'd say we talk enough about the new feature. I want to keep saying that I demo a lot of stuff, but this has been with me since a long time. I love it. It's my favorite drum machine, and it will stay here. I'm an Elektron fanboy. We know that by now, but I can't believe how much love Elektron is putting on their instrument. And so who knows, maybe in the future more things will come. So it's always exciting, and it's a privilege to own something like this. So let's go to the Perkons stuff that I did, and then let's go, let's see, G10, I have a list in there. So this is a track that I made completely using sample from the Perkons. Obviously, I think I'm more proficient with the rhythm sequencer, the Elektron sequencer, and then all the effects that I can add. So my idea was I will create very cool sound recording the Perkons through the Zell mixer using compression, distortion, tape, anything, and EQ, of course, from that amazing mixer, and then I will mangle everything back in the rhythm. This is one. Again, you can buy this, I'll tell you in a second. Nasty. These I really like. A lot of noise and stuff. Of course, I used the sample and then filtered it. No, not in this case. But to be honest, I have a project that I made for you, for whoever wanna buy it, and you will have all the 74 sample, one shot, plus this project. And I just did it, simple stuff, but for kids, just, you know, to showcase something. This is full, I'm only using the sample pack, not anything coming from the rhythm. I kinda like it. Let's go now. Second one. And if you like, as I mentioned before, deep kind of a trippy vibe, I think it's a sound pack for you. I call it sound pack because you will load here, but again, it's WAV file in high quality, so you can use it for whatever you want. Like that too. And then I made one that is super crazy. And these are how the kit sounds. I like all of these also noise. And let me just give you a quick example. Let's load here. You go in sample. And then here it is. You have a lot of hats. Kick, they're pretty massive, man. Listen to the low end. And so on. A lot of percussion. Noise, because I think the Perkons has this cool noise. Stuff like that, they're pretty great for sound design. And so on until snare, some sub, and texture. So, if you ever wanted to support me, this is a great way to do. Go on the link down below, and you can buy the digital product from Patreon. Again, you don't have to sign up for Patreon. It's just like you're buying the sample pack. Then you will have these few examples of my friend Fractals that used the sample pack to do something. And yeah, if you do something with it, please send me over and I will repost on my Instagram, on my story. I wanted to help spread your music too. So this concludes the video of today. Thanks Elektron for really taking care of this beautiful instrument. At this point, this is not anymore a drum machine, it's a beast, can do everything. If you have the budget to buy something like that, you will definitely be happy because at this point it's one of the most comprehensive and great sounding instrument around. All right, Thanks, and I'll see you next week.